Okay, I know I'm a little bit late doing this, but here's Goof Troop, the animated series. Those of you who watched the show before, trust me, those of you already have. Goof Troop is a pretty interesting show since 1993. He is one of the best comedy shows out there of all time. It starts our beloved character, Goofy, and Max. And Max is like the extreme, totally tubular writer of his best friend, PJ, aka Pete Jr. Their neighbors. There's Pete Pestle, which is Pete's daughter. Wife Peg, who actually kind of almost nearly likes Goofy more than her husband Pete. Pete is very much basically an angry neighbor that can't stand Goofy shenanigans, kind of like similar to Dark Family Matters. And so you'll find him a little bit annoyingly funny and can't stand him. But he's a little bit too wacky for his own good. But does care for Goof most of the time in the show. Oh, the show has some wacky hijinks going on the show. The best thing about Goofy, he's voiced by Bill Farmer, and the actor that played his son Max sadly did not last that long to voice him in the mid-90s. Had a short amount of time voicing him. Goof Troop also has its holiday specials, like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and most likely Xmas Eve ones. But we're not talking about those, we're talking about Goof Troop, a pretty good animated show about how Goofy and his son Max go out in these wacky hijinks adventures. This is one of the best 90s shows ever existed. Has a lot of interesting voice actors. James Cummings voices Pete pretty well. And Shal Prantos, aka the voice of Sylvia from Wonder Over Yonder, which I'll get to another time, has a pretty good voice acting too. Pete's wife, Peg. Pestle is a little young girl that has full of energy inside her. The show called Goof Troop is an interesting, remarkable show in the mid-90s. These were basically when it also takes place in 1995 for a Goofy movie where Max is all grown up, then a teenage boy, then they have a sequel to Extreme Goofy movie. It's slightly better than the first film. And yes, I'm aware that there's a Super Nintendo game, and also done by Calgum, which I'll talk about right away. Goof Troop on Super Nintendo. The game, well, if you're wondering why I'm doing this on the screen and not my actual big TV, my PlayStation 4 control's not working that well anymore. Anyways, let me just show you the Super Nintendo. I remember playing this game a lot as a kid back then, and I did be in it before by obviously using cheat codes. Anyways, just wait for a moment. I'll probably just talk about both of them, the cartoon and the video game. The Super Nintendo is you're playing as Goofy or Max, if it has like multiplayer. Oh yeah, right, I forgot. I kind of forgot. But on my old tablet here, doesn't download videos anymore. So that's why I have to get used to my new tablet here. Anyways, let me explain. The Super Nintendo's basic story is pretty simple, that Max and Goofy have a great time in vacation, along with Pete and his son and PJ, where they get captured by a bunch of pirates. And it's up to Goofy and Max to save them from a group of pirates, which they are part of the game, just thinking him as Captain Pete pirates. And this game only has like 5 stages and 5 boss fights, where you can switch to Goofy on him being tall and move slowly and solve puzzles, use a grappling hook when I get to the other side. Anyways, during the gameplay, you have to collect gems that are kind of useful in most parts, and to buy a certain upgrades and most likely grab pots, plant pots to throw at enemies. These are not blocks against pirates or snakes. This is what the Super Nintendo looks like. It has like this certain Legend of Zelda vibes on Super Nintendo. And you're solving puzzles and finding hidden treasures and trying to get amount of lives each that you can possibly carry with you. You'll probably beat this game in less than an hour or 2 hours of gameplay. You can grab barrels by throwing at enemies. Some of them will change their styles, some of them will have different combats. The Super Nintendo, it says right here, was released on July 7th, 1993. During the show, Goof Troop was narrated in its early release in 1992. There's not much else to say about the Goof Troop Super Nintendo game, that you just have to explore all of these levels and complete them in the right percentage. In other words, just play the game and you'll see what I mean. It also has interesting cutscenes, which you can clearly see right here. It shows the ending and how it shows all the characters all in one scene. So basically, Goof Troop's cartoon is pretty good, and so is the Super Nintendo game. This one makes Goof Troop, both cartoons and the video game, a memorable one. None of them all being downright fun and sometimes hard, or at times, but you'll basically have a great time playing the game, and you'll not be disappointed. And that's all I can say for now. I'll see you all in the next Disney review. Bye.